Call to order, adoption of agenda 2.1 recommendation.
Council adopt the agenda.
Can I get a seconder?
Second.
Discussion? All in favor? Adoption of minutes, 3.1 recommendation.
That council adopt minutes from the regular council meeting held on March 2nd, 2022.
Can I get a seconder?
Second.
Marcel? Can you second that?
Yeah.
All in favor? For introduction of late items, 8.2, custom tattoos. 5, public hearing none. 6, delegation 6.1. The council hear from the delegations from North Winds Wellness Center, some members in person and some on Zoom. Can I get a seconder?
Second.
Discussion.
Just give us 1 minute, please, to get, see if we can get Zoom up here. No? This is the first time we're doing that. 2 and 1 here. Oh. Do you have, Isaac, do you have members that are going to be attending by?
Yes.
Okay.
3 to 8 is
Oh, there we go.
Hi, there.
Here they come. Oh, there they are. Okay, and in
Can
order
you
to
guys
see-
hear us?
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Okay, so we have to do this so they can see council. Where's our picture? Where's our picture?
We're in there.
Oh,
We're
okay.
right there.
Okay, there we go.
So you can see us okay?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Do you want to introduce yourselves?
Sure, I can start. I'm Rob Turnbull. I'm the CEO of Street to Home Foundation in Vancouver.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Rochelle T. I'm a public housing consultancy, providing development consultancy services to North Wind.
Okay. And you? Can you hear us?
Liz?
Liz, can you hear us?
Yes, hi, I can hear you now. Good afternoon, my name is Liz Flores, and I work at the Northern Wellness Center.
Welcome. And then we have Clayton and Isaac in the audience. And Leonard from Area D. Sorry, Leonard. I always forget about you.
That's normal.
Oh, and we have Tom Summers from the Mirror as well. So would you like to start?
Yeah, we've got a presentation, so would it be possible to share the screen?
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh, do we have to do something? Do you know how to do that? We're the hosts, so we might have
You
to.
sharing privilege.
Yeah.
Let's see. I don't know if I know how to do this.
No idea.
Oh,
Did I do it?
well, no, you're just sharing your screen. They need to share theirs. So you need-
Oh, okay.
Yep. So go to stop sharing screen.
Stop that.
Nope, nope, no. Well, if you know how to do it.
Yeah, you can do it. Councilor Beach, could you aid us, please?
Yeah, you need to give them permission.
We have to make them the host, don't we?
No, well, you can add
Give them
in.
permission to share the screen.
Oh man.
How can you tell we don't do this very often?
I do, but I can't remember how the heck to do this anymore. Where are we?
Is it
2
in
years
view?
of doing this and I'm still get lost.
So it's just a link for share multiple screens.
No.
Just go to the chat box.
Make host.
There you go.
All right. So you guys should be able to share your screen now.
We should have book on too.
Can we get rid of that?
There you go.
There you go.
Okay. Should we move those? Can we move those?
Yeah, you should be able to minimize it. Let's get rid of that one.
So go up to the minimum.
No, over all the way to the left where the little line is.
This one?
Yep. There you go. And then pick that box up. Yep, there you go.
There we go.
There.
Okay.
We're good to go.
Well, thank you for giving us the opportunity to present to you again. And I would like to start by acknowledging that we are in the traditional territory of Treaty 8, which include the First National communities of Blueberry, Dohy River, Halfway River, Fort Nelson, Crawford River, Sorrow, and West Moberly First Nation. We also serve McLeod Lake because they are part of the Northeast, and that's part of our agreement with First National Health Authority, although they prefer to work with Carrier County because they are closer there. But, and so, our president, Laura, was supposed to be here, but she got really ill last night with fevers and flu-like symptoms. So I said, "You better stay home. We don't have any problems there." So, thank you. So we are in screen 2. That's the presentation that you have in front of you. So the second slide, we've been an indigenous treatment center funded back in 1996. So we've been serving primarily First Nation people. However, our board of directors, since inception, they made an agreement with Health Canada that we were going to serve whoever needed help. And all that we ask them is that they respect our traditions, our ceremonies. They don't have to participate, but they have to be present in the circle as a matter of respect. So we are a trauma-informed program, and we try to go to the root of the problem. Why is it that the person is drinking? What's the problem? Drinking or using whatever illegal drugs they use, or even legal drugs. So currently we have a 10-bed facility in Farmington in a property of 150 acres. And given to some of the concerns that you guys have here in the community, we decided to work out of Norwin. Unfortunately, after doing our feasibility assessment, then we encountered a series of difficulties that prevent us from building there. We'll go into details later on. So currently we have funding from First National Health Authority, and that's to provide the treatment program for 10 beds. However, we do provide a date program, outpatient programs, as well as aftercare, or what is called continuum care as well. So if we can go to the third slide. Every year we have a survey that is conducted by one of the elders and a couple of the support workers. Normally they get on the phone after 6 months and 12 months that the person has been has attended the program. And based on that, we base our success rate. So this success rate of 83%, you might say, is quite high, and it is. And the reason being is because we are working with people that are already at the middle stage of recovery. So these are no persons that are coming to detox. Otherwise, our success rate will be quite low. So that's the reason for the success rate, to be that high. Our strong focus is on traditional culture, but we are a spiritual-based program in terms that we don't provide a recipe for people to believe in, but we encourage them to work with their inner self. So we have had people that come to treatment to us that are Muslims, Buddhists, Christians, traditional, so the indigenous people, as well as Jewish. We have served all of them. And what we do is we encourage them to work with their inner self, and from there, suffer like a metamorphosis kind of thing, an internal change that later on reflects it in the outside. And I have a person here, Clayton. Clayton came to treatment. He's from the local community here, and he came to treatment 3 years ago, and almost 3 years ago. And he would like to say a couple words in terms of what it meant for him to be at the center.
I'm currently 28 months into recovery. I went to Northwind Wellness Center because it's close and they have Western and Indigenous ideology, what I like. I walked in there a broken man. I was suicidal. I had attempted it a few times, and I was addicted to drugs and alcohol. I sat in there, went through the Western medicine and then First Nations ideology, participated in sweats, built myself a drum, created my own recovery plan based on the medicine wheel ideology of First Nations that we use to maintain a holistic healing and a well-balanced lifestyle. While I was in there, I decided I'm going back to school. And currently in Northern Lights College, I will graduate this year, shortly with my social work diploma.
Oh, right on.
I'm also I'm entered to go to UNBC to continue on and go for my bachelor's degree and go from there. That being said, that facility saved my life. And I would not be where I am today because of that. I am currently doing my practicum out there, and I've met with the practicum out there who are graduating this Friday. And all 4 of them went through, and they're graduating this Friday. It's amazing.
Good.
My group was one of the first groups for the whole duration of the program to stay and do it all. The success rate it's just astounding. It's a whole new way of life for people who go through it and to learn things. They give us the tools to do it on our own, and they help us and support us. And I really believe in what they're doing. After I get my degree, I want to come back and work for them, because it's just addiction is a disease, and something to be done about it. And we see the huge number of people that are passing away now, especially with the COVID. It's sad.
Were you a local person beforehand?
I'm from Soto First Nations in Moby Lake.
Okay, so that's pretty
Yeah.
local.
Yeah, so I
And
was.
was that comfort for you then, to be not so far away from family and support?
It was great to have them here and to be close, right? And to know it's not that far to travel and do that. I went to the Wilpinset, and I went to the Three Voices of Hating before. Wilpinset's where I came over back east there. Back that side. Those places were okay, but I just didn't incorporate myself into the program. Being here, I actually incorporated myself, maintained just the First Nations ideology, getting into the sweat, doing the drum, building all those, working on myself every day really helped. Being close is nice, it's great, I like it because it's not too far, for my family. I had no problems with it, but I committed myself to it. We've seen people come from all over to the center, and they've liked it and they enjoy it, right? And like I said, it's a life-saving place. And there's too many people out there who are lost, who need help. So anything we can do to help society, like this, what a great opportunity for you to say, hey, look what we're doing for the betterment of society.
Congratulations, it's
Thank you.
Thank you, Clayton. And Rob from the Street to Home is gonna give us a quick run through the statistics and what's happening with the overdose crisis and all of that. Rob?
Thanks. Good evening, Mayor Machete and councilors. Once again, I'm Rob Turnbull from Street to Home in Vancouver. We're a private sector foundation. I've got 2 brief slides. I'm sure you've seen the headlines. The numbers are quite shocking of deaths due to a toxic drug crisis since the public health emergency was declared in 2016. It's important to point out that many of these deaths are preventable. You're probably aware that in northeastern BC, 2/3 of the folks who are homeless have issues with substance use, and so they're at risk for overdosing. You may also be aware that the average wait time to get into the local inpatient treatment program is approximately 5 weeks. This waiting is the real crux of what we're talking about tonight. It equates to an increased risk of death. And Northwind Wellness can save lives and help individuals build better futures through the model we're going to talk about tonight. Can I have the next slide? So way back in 2018, Street to Home developed what we call the Addiction Recovery Community Model. We developed a business case, and we brought together experts from First Nations Health Authority, Provincial Health Services, Vancouver Coastal Health, UBC, Center for Applied Research in Mental Health and Addictions, Providence Healthcare, St. Paul's Addiction Medicine, Turning Point Recovery, BC Housing, City of Vancouver, Vancouver Police, and the Ministry of Public Safety and Solicitor General. That's a lot of expertise at the table. We felt pretty good about this work, and then Isaac turned the model on its head by integrating largely segregated pathways under one roof. And hence we have this new model, the Addiction Recovery Community Housing Model, or the ARCH model. There are high-quality, evidence-informed programs across the province providing exceptional care and support to people living with addiction. The challenge is they're standalone, and effective transitions that ensure a continuum of care are largely missing, leading to an increased risk of return to substance use and increased mortality. If you look at the document, these four components are those evidence-based models that typically act in isolation. So number one is where you're going to have withdrawal management, stabilization, keep people engaged through recreation, social activities until that bed is available as number two. So it's addiction, treatment, housing. And Isaac's talked about the unique model where Northwind combines Western medicine, traditional healing, physical activity, vocational training, all the things that help people succeed in their recovery. And then the third component is recovery supportive housing, once you've finished your treatment. These first three components provide an evidence-based continuum of housing and recovery supports that actually stretch program engagement to about 2.5 years, leading to much better outcomes. The Recovery Community Center is a relatively new model in Canada, and it's where people can remain tethered to the system, so they don't fall out of care between different components. And there's mutual aid, peer coaching, recreation, social opportunities for others in recovery. Sadly, I heard from several parents how a treatment bed wasn't available following withdrawal management, or recovery housing wasn't available following treatment, with tragic consequences. This large business case is now available on the Homeless Hub. If anyone wants to take a deeper look, the Homeless Hub is a national repository for homeless research and best practices based in York University, and it's our national repository of evidence. This is a leading-edge model. It's the first in Canada. There'll be a lot of eyes on this model. People will want to come and network with Northwind Wellness Center or Goose Goopy to replicate the model in their home jurisdiction. Thank you. I can turn it now over to Isaac.
Thank you. Thank you, Rob. In the past, we have provided Mayor and Council here with a copy of our business case. So that's the one that Rob is mentioning about. So as I said, in terms of the project update, we are in that, slide 6 there. So the problems that we found after we did the feasibility study in Farmington is that we don't have water there. We thought that we have enough water in the ground. And last November we did, not a well, but an exploration well. And at the depth of 100 meters, we found 1.5 gallons per minute. That's the volume of water that we can get. And in order to run this facility, we need at least 6 gallons per minute. That's the main reason why that's affecting us. Yes?
Did you try the dugout behind you guys?
With the neighbor? Yeah, he's developing at sort of at, I can't remember the name that he uses for it, but his dream is to have a place where children can come from the school, a wildlife sanctuary.
Yeah.
And still the water is not going to be enough.
5,600 gallons isn't going to be enough?
I have no idea what volume they have there. Maybe Leonard can help us in that later on.
Yeah.
We will have the details in that. So the other issue that we face is 3-phase power that we need for the construction. And in order to get that, we had to bring it all the way from the highway. That's a full kilometer of distance from the highway to our property, which means we had to install 10 posts. And BC Hydro is charging us $30,000 per post. So just in bringing the 3-phase power to the property will cost us another $300,000. And on top of that, we will have to design a new sewer system, a new lagoon, because the one that we have is too small. It's too small for that. And based on this, even though the Agricultural Land Commission gave us a permission to build there, and they process our application and everything, is not viable. And because of this, BC Hydro kind of step aside from the table, from the funding table. They said you have to solve this situation before we can invest in that. You have to show us that you have viability for the next 60 years at least.
Who is that?
BC Hydro.
BC Hydro.
Yeah, so so then Magda is gonna talk to us briefly later on about the progress that we have done, and he will have more answers to that. So our goal is to build here, if you guys allow us, so to come back and build in Cuscupi. And we are taking into consideration a lot of the issues that were an issue as far as renew. One of them will be the traffic into the property. So our engineers and our architects have designed the main entrance towards from the highway instead of going through the neighborhood there to come from the north. So that's one of the smallest examples that we can provide in that. We're also going to provide, we're going to need for the 50 beds facility, we're going to need a personnel of 30 positions at least. We only have 10 of them. And most of that is going to be hired from local people. You know, we're going to need security, we're going to need support workers, we're going to need cooks, and all of that will be hired locally. For some of the positions, like to lead the detox, we might need to bring a site nurse, and obviously that might have to come from outside. But our
Back
goal,
you up a bit. So your turnoff at the turnoff at the bottom there.
Mhm.
Are you working with Ministry of Transportation for a turning lane there?
we haven't yet, because we are still at the earliest stage. What we are trying to do is, and Matar will talk to us about that, is incorporate everything that we have envisioned for Farmington and try to see how we can apply that in order to reduce our cost. So that we are in that process, but that's part of the process. And by all means, we would like to have, if you guys allow us to do that, we would like to have your input and talk
We
about
have to have
everything.
community's
Yeah.
input as well.
Yeah. So the other area that we are planning to work on is social enterprise. And as Rob mentioned, the 2 years program for those that are working in the recovery, they will have the opportunity to work through either the Northern Light College. They are developing 3 threads training sessions that they will have for those 2 years. And the goal is to prepare our participants so they can succeed in any trade they go in. We get persons that only have grade 6 education, grade 8. And then the college will take them at the level that they are at, and they will work with them and build them so they can succeed in whatever trade they use. The 2 programs that we're going to start with is automotive mechanics as well as carpentry. And the college has offered to build a shop in there that will be usable for both areas. But we're still in the process of working in that partnership. And the other program is the one that's coming through the Quantum University, Polytechnic University in Vancouver. They have done a lot of work with First Nation people. They understand the value of the land and take into consideration all of that.
Sorry, Isaac,
Yes, go ahead.
you've gone over your 15 minutes.
Okay.
Can I get a motion to,
I'll make that motion.
can I get a second? Second. All in favor? Go ahead.
Thank you. I forgot about the technicality of the things. So, yeah, Quantum University in Vancouver, they have done projects like this in the Yukon. So they are familiar to work with the kind of weather that we have up here. And the idea is to produce our own vegetables and to have animal husbandry. And for that, we haven't worked the details yet. Most likely, it will be that the person will be shuttled from here to Farmington to the property that we have there. Because we are planning to start with goats and chickens because they are easier to take care of. But the dream is to produce our own food and to provide for the community as well. That's one of the goals that we have. Another dream that we have is to have an indigenous garden where we can grow some medicine, like for example chamomile tea and some others that grow naturally. And Quantum University has the expertise to work in this. They have partnered with us and they are already working in funding to get the right program going for the program. Their promise to us is that they will lead the project for the first 5 years, and so it gets well established, and then they will turn it over to us for the maintenance. And we are also having a program for trauma specifically that is run out of the Bay 3 area. We have a lady there that is called Action Force Action and Development, sorry. And what we do is we take our participants once a week. They go and they communicate with the horses. These are rescue horses that she works with. And she teaches them life skills based on their communication with the horses. And it's just amazing the cases that we have seen in the last year and a half that we've been doing this program. Because a person that have problems opening up because of trust issues with the counselors, they feel free to communicate with the host, and then they come back and they say, "Oh, I want to work in this particular issue," and that's how it works. So we will have special programs like that as well. So this is part of the dream that we have. And Magda, would you lead us through the layout of the development there, please? Thank you.
Sure, thank you, Isaac. Thank you, Mayor and Council, for allowing us to speak today. I wanted to just quickly follow on from what Isaac was saying around the work that we've done to date. We did carry out a feasibility on the project. I'm trying to understand how best to accommodate the various needs that we identified under the ARCH model, and that includes the detox, immediate care facility, and then we have the addiction treatment and the supportive recovery housing, all connected together with the central hub, which includes a gathering space and an opportunity for peer supports in the recovery cafe. There is also a kitchen that provides meals for the community there, but can also be set up to support a wider programs for the community. As Isaac mentioned, there were some site constraints at the Farmington model site, and I think we were obviously aware of the fact that with the site at Goose Coopy was an opportunity, and having looked at it again, we felt that as well as being beneficial in terms of the costs that Isaac mentioned in terms of the infrastructure, but I think there's also an opportunity here to add value to the community in Goose Coopy with the jobs and social enterprises that the program will deliver. So I think there's a mutual benefit in terms of how we take this project forward. At the moment, we're looking at potentially 10 beds of detox, 10 beds of addiction treatment, and then about 30 units of the supportive recovery where people stay for much longer and get engaged with those programs that Isaac just mentioned, contributing both towards empowering the community within the facility, but also helping support the wider community as well. We're developing the site to maximise the land as it stands. We have carried out a survey of the site and laid out the property in a way that, as Isaac mentioned, allows us to have a low impact on the neighbours and have direct access to the road, and also utilising as much of the existing footprint of the building that was there previously. And basically it's a two-story building, so the second floor replicates the ground floor. With a mezzanine floor for meeting and council rooms on the upper floor. So from the site perspective, we've got a potential design that we want to put out to the community, get their feedback, and submit a building permit. We have got funders around the table. We've got support from First Nation Health Authority, we've got CMHC, who have also provided funding and expressed support for the recovery housing, as well as BC Housing, providing supportive funding together with Northern Health. So we do have the major funders around the table all keen to support this project to go forward. So it will be a substantial investment by those partners in the community. In terms of the process, we are keen to try and get the work started before winter comes. So we are looking at a fairly accelerated timescale to enable this project to move forward, especially as funding is becoming available, and feel that it's important to come to council to seek your support in terms of helping us move forward with the planning process, as well as working with us to engage with the community and gather support to enable the project to move forward. So we've got a program where we're looking to start on site around September time. Again, this is for discussion, just so that we've got something to talk around. And then working backwards, is working to see how best to work with the sales to enable that to move forward. If I can hand it over to Leonard, I believe, is the forward.
Thank you, Maktar. And Leonard is going to talk to us about all the partners that are involved in supporting this project.
I think I got the easiest part to talk about here. I've been involved since, I guess, about 2.5 years ago is when I was brought on board as a director from the Peace River Regional District. When I first heard about the ARCH program, I was really into it because I believed my daughter would not be in the trouble she is in today if she was given that opportunity to attend North Winds Wellness Center. So I do have a personal interest in this as well. I do believe the outcomes of this program that they have here are not by mistake. I think they're planned and I think they're well thought out. What has become every meeting that we have last Friday of every month, that has become a community to all of us because we have just about everybody involved with any part of this comes to those meetings and we're constantly talking. We have the First Nations Health Authority, we've got Northern Health, BC Housing, CMHC, myself rep as for Area D for Peace River Regional District. We've got Treaty 8 Tribal Council representatives. Street to Home, I haven't seen Rob in a while, but I hear that he's pretty good right now. And then we have the community and private sector wanting to get involved as well. So there is, to me, this is one big community trying to unite to make a positive outcome. And so in regards to the water issue, I know we always need water. 56,000 gallons needs to be replaced on a regular basis, and if we take it out of a dugout, it replaces once a year when you have your freshet. So for us or for them to use a dugout, they would have to either keep filling the dugout in so that they have regular water. I was really disappointed when the water well only came in at a gallon a minute. That's not even enough to feed my livestock at home. So it's just to me, I believe this is a really good project going forward. The opportunity in Poos, I think, is one of the better options that we have. But again, I just believe it's an overall positive. The biggest thing is, though, to get a project together, and I've been doing this as an elected official for 9 years, to get as many participants into one project, you almost don't see that. So to me, from that point of view, to get this many communities or this many organizations involved, it has to be positive in the end. Otherwise, they wouldn't be here if they didn't see a benefit. So that's kind of my piece, and thank you for letting me speak.
Thank you, Leonard.
Thank you so much for allowing us to come and present our ideas, and I would like to recommend to you guys that you facilitate our process by approving us to be back in the community, or at least give us the opportunity to talk to the community, to present to the community and let the community decide, because we understand that there are pros and cons, and we have to balance that situation out. So thank you so much. I really appreciate this opportunity. Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, your worship and council, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Please.
Good job, Clayton.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Isaac, this one here, page 2, I told you about that.
Yeah.
I can't read it. Can you email me?
Liz, would you be able to email that to Mayor and Council?
Ask her to email it to me,
Yes.
and then I'll get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Email it to Sandra.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay.
Once again, thank you all.
Okay.
Thank you. Unfinished business arrival in the minutes. 7.1 recommendation.
That council approves the draft letters to be sent out.
Second. Discussion. Oh, yes, the water, wastewater infrastructure challenge.
Maybe because you closed the,
Everybody see these?
there we go.
They're okay with them?
Everyone's okay with all of them?
Yes.
Can I get a, all in favor then?
Thank you.
7.2 recommendation.
That council approves the capital and special project list for 2022 as presented.
Can I get a seconder?
Second?
You make the motion?
No, I thought we were going to do discussion.
You're on the discussion.
Okay.
You've already approved all of this.
Yeah.
I just need a motion saying you've approved it, because we didn't get that last time.
Oh, I just had a couple questions.
Okay.
Okay. There is the feasibility study, the drainage, what is that?
That's the ditches.
That's the
ditches.
Yeah,
The what?
ditches.
Ditches.
The ditches?
Changing from,
Storm drains.
that's going from culverts to storm drains.
Storm drains, because we're so flooded everywhere.
It's almost complete, I believe.
Pardon?
It's almost complete.
Oh, okay. And the boundary expansion was,
That's pushed. We're not
That's
doing
to
that.
2023.
yeah, I know, but it's been pushed from 21 to 22, 23. What is that? To how far?
How far?
Yeah,
We were to go on the other side and down, and we were gonna try and get Clark Road.
okay. Just wanted to ask.
I think, isn't that what it was? You were on council then. And then Andre and then we're on council with us.
Yeah, they wanted the field behind the Hudson
Oh,
Road,
yeah.
down
Okay.
The railroad down back.
And the walking trail was,
That's with the regional district. And that, this one, it was down at the park, but we need infrastructure and stuff. That's why we pushed it off.
so that's at the park.
Yeah.
Okay. And the professional sound system.
We haven't got our mics yet.
Huh?
Where's the mics? I thought we were getting
No, we don't
mics.
need them.
Isn't that what that sound
That's what that is up there.
Oh, I can barely
Sound
hear that
system
guy
is
on
done.
So
for
there's,
us. This one is for.
oh, so this is already completed.
Yes.
No, the council chamber one is the one she's talking about.
Oh, yeah, that's completed.
Oh, okay, so that's not even on.
But we had to include it because there was still some costs left over.
It's still this
Yeah.
year, yeah.
Okay.
That's why it's there.
But the fire hall for escape road has to be done.
Yes.
Phase 2 development manual. The maze payroll is pushed off to 2023. Our new website, 3-phase power for the fire hall, removal of vegetation in the lagoon, that's a must. Lagoon project, that's a must. Fire department radios is a must. And steamer for power public works.
It's only if we get the fire truck and we have no update on that yet.
Okay, and then
Sound system.
professional sound system for them.
Yep.
Oh, and where would that go?
That's for the fire department.
Yeah, where would it go?
It's gonna go,
Because
I
since we
believe
don't
it's
have a
what
training
Smart Board
room.
is.
Pardon?
What Smart Board is?
well,
Oh,
currently
okay.
the smart board's sitting behind a fire truck, so we
Okay.
won't, I think it's going up in the training room. I think that's where he's putting it,
It's
isn't
not
it?
going in the main bay where they do the training?
The
On the
smart
side?
board? I don't know, we'd have to talk to,
The sound system.
I'd have to talk to fire chief.
And I wanted to ask about the RCMP capture program. That's $5,000 per annum, I take it, or?
Right now, it's just $5,000 for this year. We did receive an update from Dawson Creek RCMP. They're still in the beginning stages of this program. He's still waiting for final approval. So it's just kind of there to mark the
hanging
place. Yeah, we don't know if we're gonna need it or not yet.
That's different, so everybody knows about cameras, so the RCMP know if people have cameras. And then they can go knock
Okay,
on
that's the
people's door.
cameras.
Yeah.
Okay. So I was wondering too, if there was some way that we could get some, it was very helpful to have a list of those grants that were applied for and denied. We had it once, sometime, was it last year or, can't remember. It was not that long ago. And I think the grant writer did it.
No, Chris did it.
Chris did it? Oh, okay. But you remember that, right? It was so helpful to have that. I was wondering if we could have that
I don't remember that.
every once in a while. I'll find it. I'll show you.
Okay.
And our fire department, that total is humongous. I just wanted to put that in there. Just saying. But I would also like to see on this somehow that we have our sewers scoped.
Wasn't that just done?
That was done last year.
Is it done on an annual basis?
I believe we had a project
biannual?
either a year or two ago where they
Year.
did all the problem areas, and
Yeah.
after that, it would just be if there was a problem.
If there was a problem?
And that could have been done in conjunction with this drainage. Did they scope? I know that we just did it within the last 2 years.
Yeah, I seem to remember something about that, but I was wondering if you did it on a regular basis.
I don't believe it had been done for a while, but it has definitely been done in the last few years.
We can talk to the Public Works and see.
Could we put it in somewhere that, like,
Wouldn't that be under general?
a policy or something?
Well, it's definitely done if there's a problem.
Oh, yeah, definitely, but I mean, it should be done just to check things out for
It costs a lot of
infrastructure.
money.
I know it does. I know it does.
Marcel?
So does urban systems have somebody, because we know we use them, do they have a recommendation?
We have
Somewhere.
somebody
How
that
often
works
should
for the
we do that?
village that does it.
Yeah, I'm just
We do?
thinking for how often it should be done.
Who?
I'm not saying his name on camera. He's a plumbing company.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all. Just wanted to say a few things.
So I'll make a motion that we pass this.
Second.
All in favor? Seven point three recommendation. That's all.
Well, the council approves the purchase of a sound system for Who's Who Be Here.
Can I get a seconder?
Second?
Discussion?
That's on this list.
Yeah.
Yes. It's just that it wasn't formally approved last time.
All in favor? New business 8.1 recommendation.
The council approves the increase in policy 3.10 for the elected official remediation.
Can I get a seconder?
Remediation, sorry.
Second.
Discussion?
Yeah. I was trying to figure out how you came to the numbers that you came to.
Sandy?
And look at what everybody else is doing.
Oh, I was trying to figure out percentages. I
No.
like structure.
So there's a table that's put out by Civic Info that we all answered a survey on, and there's everybody's what everybody's paying for elections.
Okay.
I didn't put in there what some places are paying.
I know, but I was trying to figure out what
Yeah.
percentage-wise.
Yeah, basically it's just like that's the wage that'll be paid for advance poll and the day of the election. Everything else is done in the office under regular wages.
Okay.
Any other questions, Danielle?
So this is a pay rate just for like those 2 days kind of deal? Okay. I know I was sort of like, I read that and thought, well, jeepers, they only ever have to count 170 ballots. But
There's all the other work.
but then there's all the
It's up
other
to
thing that later.
Yeah.
If only we just had to count the ballots, that would be wonderful.
I just think of like our election
And
versus like
2018, it was
Vancouver.
390 that we counted, just for the record.
Yeah. As I said, I was thinking about like our elections versus like Vancouver's elections. Do you know what I mean? I was just like,
Yeah.
holy mackerel, that's.
It was unbelievable, some of the wages that people are paying. The average is $400 to $500 a day for the CEO and $300 to $400 for, and then about $25 an hour for the poll workers. There's some that are paying their chief election officers $6,500. And I was like, wow. That's not even Vancouver. That's areas that compare to our size. Like,
Wow.
No way.
yeah. It was
See,
unbelievable.
that's why you need structure, because you can get carried away. It depends on who you're sitting at the table with, but you could be very frugal, or you could be very,
Yeah.
la-di-da, and let's get on with this and just throw out money. And
No,
that's,
Sandy's not, so we're good.
I think my only concern with this is Goose has a really bad record of by-elections, so it's not like it's a once every 4 years thing. It's like a once every 18 months thing, you know what I mean? So.
And every 18
I feel like
months.
we've had a lot of by-elections. No, you don't think so? Well, we haven't.
Not recently, we
I've only
haven't.
lived in the village for 12 years and I've
I've
seen.
done, okay, I've been running the elections now for the last 6
We
years.
had one in
and two.
14,
Yeah.
and then we had one with you.
Yeah? Oh, it felt like more. All right, well, anyway, you guys are all fine with the chicken. Wow.
just did, yeah, because I figured it out percentage-wise from 2018 or 16 or whatever it was. It was 25% for the chief election officer, and the deputy was 33%. And then the person you pay by the hour here, the election official, is 25% too.
It's just an average what we took
It's
from
just
the
an average though.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. It's just putting it out there.
So all in favor? 8.2, custom tattoos for Canada Day. Number 1.
Somebody want to read out the motion, recommendation, please?
I've lost it.
Oh, purpose to provide
On the
council with
inside.
information on
On the paper.
customized tattoos for Canada Day. Background. At the council meeting held on March 2nd, 2022, council expressed interest in proceeding with the Canada Day celebration. It was also mentioned that it is Goose Scoopy's 90th birthday this year. The question is, would council like to customize tattoo to commemorate the occasion? If so, we would need to decide a design by March 18th, 2022, to get it to the manufacturers, to get it to time for Canada Day. Our administration staff have come up with several designs, see attached, and if council would like to proceed with this administration, ask that council pick 1 or 2 designs they would like to proceed with. Camera.
Subject
There we go. See? Seconder.
Can I get a seconder? Marcel?
I just have a question.
Okay, go ahead.
Tattoos are the one-day thing. And the cost, you know what I mean, just, like I'm saying, if you pick 2 and did 500 of each, I'm just hypothetical, that's $1,000. So that's something that can't be saved as a souvenir after the fact. So should we be spending $1,000? I know these tattoos, it just went through my head for a permanent do you know what I'm trying to say? Something more,
Something more commemorative to last, because yeah, these are great for the kids, and some of these, let's say if I got something like, yeah, some of these will make really nice lapel pins, or I think mugs was the other thing, so looking at doing some more commemorative stuff with whatever design we go with.
Sandy. Lapel pins are approximately $8 per pin. I'll tell you that now. Because we have lapel pins here in our office. We don't give them out just willy-nilly.
I bet you don't.
Because they have to set up the stamping
Yeah.
and the colors and so those are fairly expensive. The reason we thought of tattoos is because Canada Day, we've always had tattoos for the last several years. Kids love them. People just take them to have them. They don't have to go on their skin. They can put them on something else permanently if they like. I don't think it will be quite $1,000. But I don't know, we just thought it would be something fun that
I think
you're
they're awesome.
for.
I'm happy with them. And cups, can we get cups as well? Right?
What about those buttons with the pins on them? You know, like election buttons?
Oh, those ones.
You want,
Yeah,
you
like-
want these on there?
Yeah, something like those.
Okay.
Because then that would be something that you can keep, and
How many do you want of them?
Okay, hang on, cups.
Well, I like those big water bottles that we have, Sandy.
But we still have tons of those. I'm
Oh, okay.
ordering them, they won't
You
say
can just order
90th, but
You can just order a sticker that says 90th with the dates and just.
there we
stick it
go.
on the top.
Okay. Pins, metal pin. I'll call it
Yeah.
metal pin and then I'll know what it is.
Election buttons.
Because those are cheaper. Okay, so would you like us to bring back pricing on that?
yeah.
Can I
And
get someone to make a motion for this,
I'll motion
please?
that, Sandy.
And it's
Can I get a seconder?
One second.
All in favor?
We
Ronnie's
need-
bringing her cup down so that you have a design.
We need to go back to the original one for the tattoo. Does council wish to have tattoos or not? We
I
haven't
think
voted
we
on
should
that
have
yet.
some for the kids.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I think that'd be good.
And I think, I don't know, 1 or 2?
Okay, so I need 3, 4?
No, she's voting for the number.
Oh, you can write your vote on there. Mark off the 2 that you like. Don't you have
Just
a pen?
circle the number.
And then I'll just collect them and then we'll go from there,
And the button is gonna be 3?
if you wish. You want the button as number 3?
Right.
oh, yeah.
Well, you could write next to one of them button and one tattoo.
Well, no, then you gotta pick 3.
I did, 1, 2, and 3.
You need to pick button design and 2 tattoos.
Oh.
Yes, I'm gonna get picky, I don't wanna have to come back.
Okay. All in favor? Okay. Does anybody see any correspondence that they want to read out? Barb?
I was really surprised at the numbers for stars. Like, the numbers are going up and up and up. That they're calling into our region. Yeah, I was kind of impressed with that.
Vivian?
I wanted to ask about the bylaw officer. You know, have we gone there? Am I allowed to go there? Not going to? Yeah. You know, in almost every report that we get, it's like animal retrieved, known to officer, animal retrieved, known to officer, animal.
So how come they're not getting fined?
Yeah, legit. Why aren't they getting fined? Because it's always the same dogs, the same 3 dogs. And in every report, those dogs are mentioned 2, 3, 4 times, but there's never a fine on there.
No. So he needs to start fining.
I will talk to him.
Could we I've noticed that, I've been making note of, oh, it's this dog again. This one was on the last report twice. And it does often say known to, and he does say like one more time and you'll be getting fined, but then one more time comes in.
Doesn't get it.
Okay, I will speak to him.
Yeah, thank you.
Do you need a motion for that? Anything else?
I guess the other thing, the bylaw officers will know, just to keep an eye on yards that have fences, if they've got dogs that can get out of the fence to,
Oh, he does
you know.
that. He
Yeah,
does that.
because I got a report today of a young man that got bit by a dog because they got out of the fence. So
Mhm.
Here in
there was,
Bruce?
yeah, there was no damage or nothing to the kid, but it was just one of those things I think it scared him more than anything else, so.
Yes, I got the report as well.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Glad
So you guys are getting your
That's
reports.
sad, because whether they get out or not, they shouldn't.
They shouldn't be biting.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. It's just that time of year too, if Sam's going around, just to keep an eye on, places with dogs, just to make sure that they're
Yeah.
confined in there. Because
I'll
it's one of those
reconfirm
things that
with
could, definitely could have been worse than it was.
Okay.
Resolutions none, bylaws none, administration report, CAO report.
So you have my written report, and I'll just update that. The light in the park over there is installed.
Yeah.
Tonight I'll get to actually see if it actually is bright enough. Last week I attended a library joint meeting with school district, library, and us. There's no major problems. There was just one area of concern brought up between the librarian and the school district, and that's the cost of fixing the books. Because over the last couple of years, the school has not actually contributed to the library, we found out, but we did find out that it is in the budget for them to contribute, so we agreed to leave it between the librarian and the principal. The principal has a budget, a line in her budget, so she's gonna work with Courtney to provide her some resources for fixing.
What about our janitor room? Do we have that
That's
back?
part of the community center.
Yeah, do we have it back?
It's
Because
part
they
of-
were,
I haven't
they were
had,
using it as a janitor room.
we haven't had a chance to talk about it. That's with the community center, that's not the library.
I think what you said, I think our shape is the other way. There's no on-budget amount that the school technically has to pay in, but they have been paying in a little bit here and there, but there's no set. Yeah, I think it was the other way. They had been paying in, but there's no actual amount. But the amount they've been paying in isn't consistent. It's like one year it's this amount, then it's, and that's the issue, is one year it's like $150, next year it's $200, then it's
So-
back.
So they're gonna look and
So
see
they're
if they
gonna-
can work out a
Amount?
amount that they can.
Does the school district buy any books for the library? Like, I know that originally used
I
to be in
believe,
Well, that's
The
what that
print-
was about.
yeah, and I believe that's all gonna be worked into,
our. Okay.
So
I think-
Courtney's handling it.
yes.
Okay.
My understanding of that is they are buying books for the library, but they're stamping it with Poos Kupi Elementary School, so it doesn't say the library. They've got their own special stamp that they stamp their books with.
Oh, I didn't know, I didn't.
I learned about, yeah,
Oh,
so
okay.
that's, yeah, I don't know. It's a whole thing.
Okay.
Okay, street renaming, the street that we want to rename. An idea was brought forward because that alley actually runs all the way down to the Poos Kupi Hotel, Sue Fritz's old place.
Oh, yeah.
And the spa, and a suggestion was made that maybe we rename that after her.
I love it.
Either Sucrit Avenue Lane Place, whatever, or
Sucrit
Harbor.
Lane.
Yeah.
But that was brought forward to me, that maybe you would like to do that because of everything she did in, so I'll be bringing a report back on April 6th about it with a couple options, and then we can pick. We have no policy or bylaw for renaming, so basically all that happens is council picks the name they want to, we get a sign made, and we let the PRRD know, and it gets put on the 911 map.
Oh, right on.
So it's not very hard.
So when we roll that out, would it be something to look at, say rolling out, have one of their family members unveil the sign or something like that?
Yeah, we could.
So I think that'd be kind of
Yeah.
cool way to.
Anyway,
Super.
just so you know, it was the public works director who made that suggestion.
Well, that's an
Thank
awesome
you.
idea.
And then this morning I attended the stakeholder meeting with the Dawson Creek RCMP, where we just got a brief update of crime in the area. Some's going down, some's going up. They're looking to engage in the public, start engaging in the public again. They are applying for 3 more RCMP rural officers.
Provincial.
Provincial.
Yeah.
Okay,
City,
provincial, yes, to work with the city. They got turned down last year, but Sergeant Worrell is confident that he has a good business plan, and they are hopeful that they will get 3 more. He's supposed to have 6 on staff, but at any one time, he's only got 5. There's always somebody off on leave. We got an update on the hospital. They're moving into the design phase, and they're hoping to break ground come September is when they're hoping. And that's all I have. Oh, and I won't be here from March 18th to March 30th. Just remember, but you can still get a hold of me on my cell.
Well, hopefully
I will
we
have
don't
it.
have to bother you, but please enjoy yourself and please relax.
Yes,
I
I
know
will.
you're going with family.
I'm going with my mother and my sister. I'm so I said that on. I love to hear Lee.
Somebody mark that time down.
My mother won't watch, so I'm not worried.
12.2 action items. Oh, I meant to ask Isaac when they were going to be done. The completion, because it's 80% done.
Yeah, I think he said that the ground had to be unfrozen before they could finish.
And you haven't heard from Callis or Shaw?
No, I have not.
Oh.
What is number 3? What is that again?
So I've been talking with the fire chief, and we believe that is actually with the PRRD. That's not something we're doing. This is part of the radio purchase, but the PRRD is doing this.
Yeah.
So I'm just wondering if we could take this off our list, because we're not actually doing anything about it. PRRD's taking
But where are
it.
they gonna put it? Are they gonna put it on, up on the hill?
That I'd have to ask Blair first.
Yeah, see. So maybe leave it on there just for a reminder.
I'll put where. I don't think they know yet.
Info.
I don't think they know yet, but, okay.
Okay, where am I?
Calendars?
Counselors, calendars. I don't have anything.
I fibbed. I'm actually going from the 21st to the 25th.
Well, I was wondering about that, but, oh, you said.
I know. Yeah. I'm on flyer letterpress somewhere.
Oh, you would have a good holiday.
Gone forever.
We've missed you. So, Counselor Peter.
You know that I'd like to give a shout out to, if you're looking at my crazy socks, World Down Syndrome Day.
Turn it around.
Oh, no, see name.
Oh.
World Down Syndrome Day is on March 21st. And because we won't be in council then, I had to do it today.
Did you want to proclaim that day? Did you want to proclaim that day?
Can I?
Yes, you
You can proclaim that day, young mayor. Your worship.
You can proclaim that day.
Can I?
Yes.
Okay, I will make a proclamation that March 21st, World Down Syndrome Day.
Okay.
And
Thank
did you want to bring somebody in to hand that off to, or? Because it's a
No, I didn't think about
a ribbon thing you can hand off.
Really?
I'll just
Okay.
check.
I'll have
Like a
to-
poster type
So it
thing.
would have to be on the April 6th.
Yeah, I'll have to research that.
Okay. All in favor? And I second that one. Counselor Smith?
Nothing for me?
Counselor Beach?
Well, I did do things. I did have COVID, so I was doing everything from my house over the phone. I attended that thing with Tracy, the governance meeting.
Yeah.
And attended that. That went the usual, it went good. I attended the library AGM. That went really good. They appointed some new members in new positions, which was really nice. So they have a new vice chair and a new treasurer this year, so that's really exciting. And then I attended the meeting with Sandy between the library, the school district, and us, talking about just kind of doing a check-in, and that's where it was brought up about the books. And there were some concerns brought up there, so they're looking into that, so we're hoping to hear things soon. And yeah, that was me.
Marcel?
Yeah, no, I had a meeting yesterday morning with the OGC, meet with their community representatives every couple months, and yeah, nothing really new there. They received some reports, they're consulting with the local First Nations community, but there's nothing really in and around affecting Kuskoopie at this time, so yeah.
Right on.
And then I was working today, so I missed the RCMP stakeholders meeting.
Thank gosh for Sandy.
Yeah.
And Mayor Marqueta had nothing. So 14, in-camera as per section 91K of the community charter as per section K of the community charter. Can I have a motion to go into in-camera? K, negotiations and relations discussion respecting the proposal provisions of the municipality service that are at their preliminary stages, and that in the view, if the council could reasonably be expected to harm the interests of the municipality if they were held in public. And Marcel, you were seconding that?
Yeah, second.
All in favor? Key post.